Hey, welcome back, my fishies. Today, for Teach It Tuesday, yeah, I'm a little spiffed up. There's reasons behind that we won't get into, but for today's video, and I know we've done clock repair on a previous Teach It Tuesday, but that was a battery operated clock. Today, we're going to rewire a clock, one that you plug into an electrical outlet. So, not going to waste a whole lot of time. Glad y'all could come back and be with us for this. Hopefully you learned something today, and let's get started. Now, this clock here is older than I am, and of course, I've got the camera set up just a little differently today. You're not going to be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear me, hopefully. But this is a rather old clock. And as my mother says, this thing's older than I am. And I promised her that, I'd try and get it working again, because she'd like to have it ticking away. So what we're going to need for this general thing is, you can see, we've got some flathead screws, some little tap nuts that, hold this case on, which I'm hoping it's just these two, but if not, we do have needle nose pliers handy. And of course, you can do this yourself, with just about anything. Any hardware store, even Walmart, has, an 8-foot replacement lamp cord. And I mean, that's essentially all we have here. So let's see if we can get this off. Hopefully it won't take us a whole lot of time. Take our flathead screwdriver here and get these screws out of here. And I mean, it's essentially just like repairing a lamp. Of course, I'm going to take this little lid right here and put my screws in that. Hey, look at there. We don't even have to take anything else off, just this. Ooh, well, isn't that just interesting here? I'm going to have to kind of look at that a second. Ooh, well, we may have to do just a little bit more than I was anticipating here. Let's see if I can figure out how this is connected here. We might be able to do this the old-fashioned way. Ooh. Well, this looks like it is probably soldered on. Well, I guess it's a good thing we've got a little hot iron here. So we're just going to go ahead and take this on out. So you're also going to need a little soldering iron here. Of course, I probably need to change the tips on it, but I'm not going to. Make do with what you have, folks. Make do with what you have. Get our cord unwound here, because we're going to need to be able to feed it through our little piece right here, which I'm going to go ahead and try and push this back into position, because that could be a lot of our issue. Because you can see it there on camera. It looks a bit rough, but this should be still pretty easy. soon as this gets heated up here, which hopefully doesn't take it too terribly long, I'm just going to kind of use this as a way to see how hot it's getting. Yeah, it's starting to get kind of hot there. So what we're going to do is knocking the camera around. I'm just going to kind of hold this on the solder in here. You can see it right here. See if we can't get it to break loose here. If we can just pull this wire out, we'll be in good shape. There's one out. This one is on the bottom, so it's going to be a little trickier, I think. And there it is. And we're just going to leave that plugged in there. I'm going to hit the pause button in a second because I need to go grab a couple more little items here, so just hang tight. Alright, didn't take as long as I thought. Gotta have a little wire brush clean these terminals off. And of course, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip these wires right here because I got to be able to get that out. And I mean, it's not like we're going to be reusing the cord anyways this time around because we got a brand new one to put on it. So we're just going to slide that right out like that. Just toss that in our little pile there. Get our cord stretched out and go ahead and run the wires through here. Woo! This is a bit thicker cord than what was on it, but that's good. That means it's up to snuff. Of course, you got to separate it out here to be able to get it around where it's supposed to be. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my wire brush here and just kind of clean this one terminal off because it's a bit gunky. Because you always want to make sure that you clean the terminal off pretty good. And of course, I guess I might need to look and see. Hopefully we get them on the right terminals here. See, this one had it on the bottom. Now we're just gonna, again, we're gonna make sure that get it around just like what it was before. So we're gonna get this one on there. Considering it's got soldering on it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to melt some of this off. Actually, I think I have some solder in here. As a matter of fact, I do. So we're just going to get us some fresh on there. Now, if you can believe it or not, I really don't solder things. I've never really had the inkling to. But looks like I'm actually fairly good at it here. Get a nice little get off what we can. Don't want that staying on that point. Shut that off, set it on a little clamp here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the clock in. As soon as it, cools off good enough. Make sure that, it does still function as it should. Plug her in, see where we're at. Well, I think we might just not have coils acting as they should, of course. Well, that could be part of the problem too. There is they need a little bit more solder on there. Yeah, should have unplugged that first time. Learn from my mistakes, folks. Learn from my mistakes. Definitely was not smart. Of course, at the same time, that could be what the issue's been the whole time, is this capacitor may have been burnt out. Alright, let's plug it back in and find out how bad shape we're in here. Well, I think it's going to take a lot more than just a new wire. I do believe, because I can't hear a single thing. Well, I think we're just kind of SOL in the dark here on this one. I think it's going to take somebody with a little bit more ingenuity than me. But generally, that's, kind of the issue is, the main component part of it undoubtedly is what actually quit working on it. So we'll just have to do some looking and see if by chance I can find just another piece, another timepiece for it. Maybe somebody that, knows a bit more about clocks than I do, may have to take to the local, I believe we have a local clock repair shop here in town that I could probably take it to, because, the typical parts that I could buy at Walmart just aren't going to cut it, because, they're battery operated and it's a lot smaller than this. And, this is an original Dr. Pepper clock, so, we'll just have to take it to a professional and see if by some miracle that, they can find a replacement box for it and get it functional again. And that's something that, happens sometimes. That still turns just fine, But, the electrical component of it it no longer works, so. And I honestly, I had plugged it in, prior to starting this video just to see, and, it wasn't working as it should. So, of course, granted, I may have accidentally shorted it out, but you could tell that it wasn't working even with the new wiring before our little short incident happened. So, unfortunately, it's just not gonna work. I mean, it was worth a shot. Sometimes that happens, and it's fine. Like I said, it's just one of those deals that have to check with the local repair shop. See if by chance they're able to restore it, and if so, how much it's going to cost to do that, because I do want to get this clock back up and operational. I hate to leave anything, non-operational. I mean, it's still good for at least decorations. I mean, it's an original sign, and like I said, my mom has, expressed greatly to me that, this clock is probably older than me and her both. And she's well in her 60s, so I mean, that happens sometimes. I mean, it's still got the original sticker right here that, hopefully that could be used possibly to get a replacement part. It has the patent numbers on it, so, and it's even got the model numbers right here with the patent numbers, so maybe they could take that off and, just replace that part and put this cord back on it. At least one could hope, Of course, I could have very well plugged it in backwards. You never know. I mean, most of these cords, I typically know how to do it just, from lamps and stuff. But this time it just didn't work, so guess I'll have to load it up and take it to a professional here before long and, see if I can't get it fixed. Maybe somebody knows how to restore it completely. I mean, I'd like to clean this up back to original because, you can tell that, it's got some age to it. But, anything old like that, sometimes it just can't be fixed. And it just becomes a decorative piece. And that may very well be what happens with this clock, I think it holds some sentimental value to my mom. But, hey, at least, give it a shot. Make sure my little piece turned off. So, I guess that's going to wrap it up for this. I mean, it's one of those things, sometimes it happens. You just can't, fix it right off the bat. It's not a simple fix, and that's okay. It's a learning process. Hopefully today's video has taught you something. It's taught me something. Remember to unplug things before you start trying to solder them. Oh, you gotta understand, folks. It's been a week, to say the least. It's been trying times, and been dealing with a lot of things, family related, and trying to still bring y'all content and keep it together. And well, and I can't say more because of the simple fact that, you'll find out in other videos later on because of time frame things happen. I recorded in advance, for this very reason. In case something happens, I'm able to still bring the content, and not have to worry about it. And, well, things happen. We didn't get the clock fixed, but, like I said, I'm going to, do some searching, see if I can find somebody that can get the parts to be able to fix it. I was hoping it was just going to be the electrical cord, but obviously that's not the case. The mechanics in it are, of course, being older than me, they're shot. So, they're going to have to be replaced. And of course, little arc there, probably didn't help matters none. But, I will, do a short, when I do figure out if I'm going to be able to get it fixed or not. I will give y'all an update on that. And till next time, you know what? Much love. Rock on. Have a blessed week, everybody. People that are close to you, give them, if, you can't just walk up and give them a hug, give them a call. Let them know you love them. That's because you never know. Tomorrow is not promised. Till next time, everybody. See you then. Peace out.